What do you feel like for you personally are the big differences from city life to now? Like any shifts from a personal perspective?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to be in nature. You know, we grew up in the city and we're bombarded by pollutions, chemicals, EMFs. Nature is the best detoxifier. There's nothing that's better for us. And being here every day, it's really changed me as a person. It's given me more time to reflect. I don't drive around. I'm not in traffic. And I used to spend 2, 3 hours a day in traffic everywhere.
One thing that I notice is how much something as simple as traffic can alter a mood. Whether it be someone cuts you off or anything of the sort, how do these emotions like come out of you just for something so simple, you know?
And they store up. And if we got constant attack, little things like I said, a Wi-Fi, we've got signals, we've got neighbors, we're constantly interacting with people. And like in your car, you're talking about traffic. I had this conversation on a live broadcast today talking about, I remember in 1989, I was bringing wireless phones to North America when they were $20,000 per device. I remember the day when I realized it wasn't a good thing. I was driving over a bridge and I was way more productive because I was talking to people, but I lost that time that I had with myself to interact. Because when I grew up, I'm 54. When I grew up, there was a phone at my home. There's one at my work. And for the most part, I left home and you don't talk to people for the entire day. And sometimes you don't talk to people for 2 or 3 days because you're just missing schedules. But you know, today's world, we're constantly connected, which draws on our nervous system. It makes us constantly in a sympathetic state, waiting for that next connection. And we do this with social media now too. So we take social media and we make a connection, but it's not really a connection. It just tricks our brain to think it's a connection, like a pharmaceutical tricks your brain to think it's a natural product. And there is a side effect out of it, which we're starting to experience in society today. We're the sickest we've ever been, Matt. And any measurement of humanity, we have disease of all kinds at its peak: cancer, fibromyalgias. We have autoimmune diseases. We have mental disorders, social disorders at its peak. Autism right now it's like 1 in 20 compared to 1 in 400. Every disease and every dysfunction in the entire planet is at its peak right at this exact minute. And so we can't say that all this technology and all these things we've done and all this science about the human body and how we work, we can't say it's better. We're not better.
Knowing that we are the sickest we've ever been, as you put it, what would be the top 3 things that would start to cure the people of this world?
The primary things that are happening, why are we so sick, I guess is the question. For the first time in human history, they're altering the education to say that we're not 70% water anymore. We're only 60% water, which means we're dehydrated. When we're dehydrated, we elevate our stress. When we elevate our stress, narrows our focus. We don't sleep right. We don't digest and process right. And this is normal. The primary things are, like in these skies out here, that was clear earlier. So we've had those skies seeded with barium, strontium, and aluminum. Barium depletes the body's silica. When you deplete the body's silica, we no longer absorb minerals. When we don't absorb minerals, we don't hold water. So first thing is to remineralize people. And silica you can get in different forms. Horsetail or diatomaceous earth are the most common. When people take silica, they start absorbing minerals again. They absorb minerals, they place water. Water then helps them deal with hormones and vitamins, which are a natural way that our body helps itself. Drinking water is dehydrating people today. Do you drink water out of a tap?
On a day-to-day basis, I do find myself buying like a gallon of Poland Spring and drinking that.
So what you're drinking is processed water. So it's filtered, which is better than the tap water. Okay. Yeah. But when we filter it, we're taking out the minerals. So when water goes over a rock, it takes minerals from the rock. If you have no minerals in your water, when water goes through your rock, it takes your minerals out of you. This is what's happening. So the number one cause of chronic dehydration today is overconsumption of non-mineralized water, which we just don't have anymore. So first answer is to mineralize the body so it hydrates. The second answer that I would do is to move the body daily. And we have a fascial maneuvers program, which moves the fascia. We could do 1 or 2 if you want to. We can even do it seated. And it inside moves the body as if you're outside moving. We do this with patients who can't move, and we actually do fascial maneuvers, or they're administered to them. And the body treats it the same way as if they're up and climbing through rocks, or moving with their hands and their feet. And then the third one is to process emotions real time. All disease starts with an emotion that's dysregulated. If I'm angry right now or I'm fearful, my body doesn't feel comfortable, it feels uneasy, right? If I leave that in my body over a long period of time, that disease is now measurable. What about a genetic disease? Well, how do genes mutate? Well, through epigenetics, the stressors of the environment. What's the greatest stressor? Stress, hormone dysregulation, endocrine disruptors. It's happening every day to us.
If someone's 30 years old listening to this podcast, they've never done therapy, they've never done any sort of like yoga or ways to move to release emotion, does it matter?
No, the body naturally processes emotion when it's out of stress. Because if I have a big emotion, the job of the brain is to explain it. So my brain's job is to resolve patterns. So it's trying to fix an emotion and it doesn't know how to fix it. If I'm in stress, I narrow my focus so I can't get outside of myself. If I can actually step outside myself, emotions, thought, emotions, narrative, I have to go out here and look at myself from out here in order to resolve that emotion. And if I'm not out of stress, I can't do that. So I can't self-actualize. So that emotion then stays in the body. So what happens is, if I'm out of stress, naturally, my movement throughout the day will process that emotion.